Quarterback Mike Kelley inserted for the first time last week against Denver. The move by Pepper Rogers plays big dividends. Defensively, linebacker John Corker regained his USFL Player of the Year status with sacks like these against the goal. The Goals' run-and-shoot offense was in retreat most of this night. Pepper Rogers' club has been riding high. So tonight, it's the renewal of the USFL's great Southern rivalry as the Memphis Showboats play host to the Birmingham Stallions. We're expecting a crowd of some 35,000 on hand at the Liberty Bowl here in Memphis, Tennessee tonight as the Stallions come in to take on the Memphis Showboats. If you look at the standings in the Eastern Conference, it'll tell you just how big this game is, especially for Memphis. They're 5-5, 2 games down in the loss column, trailing 3 ball clubs. Our temperature a brisk 62 degrees. The skies are clear. The wind blowing out of the north at 10 miles per hour. No chance of rain, so it will remain dry. Raleigh Dodge, the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions, has had to do more than just be a head coach. He admitted that to us earlier today. And, of course, his franchise has had some troubled times away from the field. But they've gotten through all of that. And Pepper Rogers, who has authored Pepper Ball, he's got this team all pumped up. He has always defied the odds. Rogers' club now 5-5. Marv, here are your keys to victory. How do you see it for both squads?
Well, first of all, Birmingham has to pressure the passer. They've got to take the rhythm out of Memphis's game, and they'll help their own corners. They need to have the big play. They haven't had it. They've got the potential in Jim Smith and Cribbs. They've won the turnover battles in the past to put them on top. They have to continue to do so. Memphis has to protect that passer. They were sacked 10 times in their previous meeting. That can't happen again. They have to have an effective running game. They have to have it from the running backs now that Walter Lewis is gone, and they have to win the turnover battle like Jacksonville did last week in defeating Birmingham.
We should mention that Pepper Rogers has done a lot to orchestrate this last couple of weeks of action that have been awfully good to him. He's made a lot of moves during the course of the year. There's Birmingham leading the series 3-0. In fact, the Showboats haven't really been close. They were beaten 34-19 in their last meeting. The Stallions have outscored Memphis 123-45 in 3 games. There's a look at Danny Miller, who will be kicking off for Birmingham. They'll be in white, trimmed in red with the gold headgear, 5'10", out of Miami of Florida. Miller's had a pretty good year. Henry Williams, a guy they'll try to stay away from in terms of kicking off. He's an excellent return man. He's back deep. And he'll be joined back there by Derek Crawford and a couple of other upbacks. But it's Williams, the dangerous one, that's awaiting this kick. He gets it anyway. He got up to the 20, but you could tell they were trying to keep it away from him. Fletcher Llewellyn made the stop for Birmingham.
Llewellyn was just activated for this game.
Mike Kelley making his way onto the field. He's posted some good numbers, but the 16 of 30 last week was a key. And here's Walter Lewis in the game as well. We can watch for something strange. This is Pepper Ball, opening play. Walter Lewis. There he goes. First down to the 43-yard line.
Well, that's Pepper's pet play. He told us about it before the game, of course. Both quarterbacks in the game. There's the way they lined up. Number 10 was Walter Lewis back behind the center, designated by that X. Number 12 was Mike Kelley, and he faked the handoff to Kelley. We can take a look at the play again. Ball is snapped back in a sort of shotgun formation. Spread them out all over the field for a great broken field runner. Harry Sidney gets a key block, and Lewis gets a big gain, setting the tempo.
First and 10 at the 43 for Memphis. Kelley fires incomplete. intended for Moser, broken up by Dennis Woodbury. Offensively, at center will be Larry Rubens, Tyrone McGriff, and Ken Smith will be the guards. At the tackles, Louis Sharp and David Huffman. The tight end is Gary Shirk, a veteran of many wars. Derek Crawford will be the wide receiver. Moser the flanker. Kelley, Sidney, and Spencer are the backfield. There's Walter Lewis, the leading ground gainer for the Showboats. He's on the sidelines tonight. That's Spencer. Not much there. Purifoy made the stop.
Well, I'll tell you, Pepper solved the quarterback controversy. He started both of them on that first play.
Third down and 9 yards coming up. There are Spencer's numbers. He's been ailing of late. He's been trying to rehab some knee problems. He hasn't come along as quickly as they'd like.
It was a serious injury. He's worked hard at bringing it back, and he's getting a little bit better, but he's not where he was during the past 2 seasons.
3rd and 9. Moser, it's picked off. Flags are down. That's Mickey Sutton with it. And then he fumbles. And they're going to give it to Memphis, or at least one official is.
There's also that penalty flag that is going to figure into this, too, I'm sure, Tim.
That's Ken Smith on top of it with a recovery. He and Larry Rubens were in the general area.
Pass interference, number 21 on the defense. First down.
Well, that was Dennis Woodbury interfering on the pass play. It was a hook pass going to Moser, I believe, and he did interfere coming in for it.
There you see the season stats on penalties. Memphis 53 times, Birmingham 52.
Both of them relatively low, Tim. One of them ranked 2nd in the league, and the other 4th in the league in the fewest number of penalties, and that's the mark of good, consistent ball control offensive team.
Woodbury committed the infraction, but Sutton came up with the interception. That kid's a comer. Everyone feels that he's going to be a great player. Certainly Raleigh Dosh is high on Mickey Sutton in the defensive backfield for Birmingham.
He's a little guy, only 5'9", but they play him a lot in place of a linebacker.
Well, there's the yardage marked off. Down to the 41-yard line of Birmingham, so Memphis is in great shape now.
Well, there are 15-yard penalties for defensive pass interference in this league, and all that fumbling around of the ball meant little once the pass interference flag was thrown.
Crawford coming to the bottom of your screen. Moser to the top of your screen out of an eye set. Mike Kelley under at quarterback. Another Showboat first down, and the Showboats are steaming offensively here at the onset.
Here we again look at Moser. He's one-on-one covered by Dennis Woodbury, driving into the area that was vacated because the strong safety was covering the tight end in the flat. Moser's brought down, but Moser has been their consistently most productive receiver.
They call him a possession receiver, but you look at him and you think that. He does look a little like Bolitnikoff of old, but he's the guy they like to go deep with from time to time. 1st and 10. Kelley again. That's Rao, the tight end. In for Shirk, and David Dumars made the stop.
We get a replay. Now notice how quickly Kelley is dealing off all of his passes. Here's a 1, 2, 3-step drop, really, and then deal it off. Pepper came in with the idea they were going to throw quick and short. They weren't going to challenge the middle where Chuck Clanton, who leads the league in interceptions, is very much, but that ball was thrown down the middle, but very quickly. To diminish the pass rush, too, is a great reason for that quick release.
So far, 7 plays on this drive. 4 of them have been awfully big for the Showboats. 1st and goal from the 5. Play action. Touchdown. Rao again.
That was a beautifully executed drive. wide open on this. There's a play action fake him and sweep to Spencer. Kelley comes out. You see Rouse standing all alone in the end zone. Whoever had hit him on coverage bit on the play fake. Did on the play fake, came after the run. Kelley again dealing off very quickly.
Oh, he loved it, didn't he? Did Mike Kelley? Duncan with the extra point. So far, Mike Kelley and his Showboats are strutting their stuff here next to Beale Street. They lead 7-0. Memphis leads Birmingham 7-0 off some play action and a heck of an 8-play drive here.
Again, the fake to number 46, Tim Spencer, who blocks the outside blitzer who's coming. Tim Rowell all alone in the end zone. Either the strong safety or free safety would have coverage on him. And you don't know, it depends on the coverage, but whoever had it lost it.
Mark Rowell with a touchdown reception. In fact, he has more catches than Gary Shirk. Duncan is kicking off. Back deep, Paul Ott-Caruth and Thad McFadden. That's Caruth. Spun down at the 25 by Anthony Parker. 1st and 10 for the Stallions from that point. There's Cliff Stoudt, 56% completion rate. What a great year he had a season ago. Has been a bit inconsistent of late. Up front for him, he's got Battaglia and Sandin, along with Adelet at the guards. McKinley and Phoenix at the tackles. Will set the wide receivers in backfield in a moment. Cribbs up to about the 29. Reggie White made the stop. Stoudt behind him. He has Cribbs along with Joel Coles. Leon Perry was let go at the end of last week, so Coles draws the start. The wide receivers are Jim Smith and Ken Toller. Toller starting in place of Joey Jones. There are the numbers on Cribbs in 85. The tight end is Robin Earl. 2nd down and 7 from the 29 for the Stallions. They trail 7-0. Bevy of Showboats, led by Sam Clancy. Clancy along with Reggie White and Calvin Clark. That's the front base of that 3-4. The linebackers, the outside backers, are John Corker along with Carlton Rose. The inside linebackers, Steve Hammond along with Wolf Coakley. Coleman and Cade, Leonard Coleman and Mosi Cade, they're two standouts at each corner. And then Barney Bussey and Don Besselou, recently acquired, are the safeties for Pepper Rogers' club. 3rd down and 4 after the gain of 3 by Cribbs. Stoudt in trouble. Clark was in the area along with Clancy. Steve Hammond was coming on a blitz.
They were in a nickel defense, and they had Clancy lined up as a tackle, something he hasn't done very much. He's lined up over to the right of your screen. He's coming around the outside now, number 90, putting great pressure on Stoudt, causing the pass to go awry.
Bob Parsons will punt it away for Birmingham. Here's Henry Williams back deep. Williams at about his 25. Parsons should get it off around his 20. Soft one. Williams does have some room. Filled at the 40-yard line by Bill Rowe. A timeout on the field in Memphis. The Showboats lead the Stallions by 7.
Well, here we see Williams with the ball. Pretty hard to tell. As Williams comes up here, he's tackled and driven to the ground. But now, there's Herbie Spencer, not on the Showboats, on the Stallions, doing a lot of roughing up. And somebody might have reacted to Spencer and got themselves a penalty for the Showboats.
Yeah, there was a ball thrown there. That was Banaszak in the area. Memphis has it, though, with a 1st down. They mark it just outside the 22-yard line. Moser, another quick out pattern. Been working like clockwork. so far for Pepper Rogers, those quick ins and quick outs.
This is what he wanted to come into the game doing, to take the pressure off the pass rush. Also, something very crucial here, Memphis has scored first. Birmingham usually outscores their opponents heavily in the first quarter, and if they do, they can stick with their ball control offense. But if they fall behind, they may have to leave their basic game plan.
Kelley took his team 79 yards the last time he had control of the football. He looks at a 2nd and 5 here. Spencer, about a yard away from the first down. Mike Perko made the stop for Birmingham. Defensively, the Stallions have Purifoy, Jackie Klein, Doug Smith, and Mike Perko. The linebackers, Herbie Spencer, Bill Rowe in the middle. Ken Kelley, the weak side linebacker. The corners are David Evans and Dennis Woodbury. We'll see a great deal of Mickey Sutton we already have. David Dumars along with Chuck Clanton in the defensive backfield. They're measuring here. Well, they were closer than a yard away, but still they have some terrain to cover before they come up with a first down. There's the animated Pepper Rogers. Done everything but play the guitar at home. He's played the guitar on the road on the plane for his team. Dressed up like Doug Flutie once.
Pepper is quite an entertainer. Entertains his own team as well as the fans.
3rd down and less than a yard. That's Sidney. Should have the first down. Spencer on top of him.
Well, he came up over the left side, but there was quite a bit of penetration by the defense on the play. Nevertheless, Sidney was able to do some squirming about. And it's going to be close, however.
Now, they did not give him the kind of spot, at least, that the fans would like.
Well, make one of those guesses from the sidelines that you shouldn't make when it's this close. That doesn't look to me like he made it. But we'll see. Here. Ooh. He's an inch or two short.
A millimeter away. Raleigh Dodge looking on.
Coming up over the left side of his line, number 68, Tyrone McGriff in red, is driven back by a submarine charge by Doug Smith. Big tackle from Auburn, and he spills the play. It stopped right there in that man-to-man battle. Smith winning his charge, out-charging, I should say, Tyrone McGriff on that particular play.
Bob Grupp will punt it away. Thad McFadden, who leads the United States Football League in punt returning, waiting. He's at about his 30-yard line. It really did appear that Sidney had come up with the first down originally, and then when they remarked it, and you could tell defensively it was a heck of a good call. Carson shanked that one a bit. That will give McFadden some room. Up to the 43 before being spilled. Anthony Parker again down there to make first contact with him. We've got a timeout. The Memphis Showboats lead Birmingham here 7-0. Here are the rest of the games coming up this weekend. Saturday, Tampa Bay at Los Angeles. You'll get that one right here on your source for sports. Then there's the Sunday schedule. Then Monday, Houston at Portland here on ESPN.
That last punt, Tim, was not the kind of punt you want to kick to the best return man in the league. Thad McFadden leads the league, and it was a low line drive kick. He nearly broke it.
7 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first quarter. Birmingham trailing Memphis by a score of 7-0. Tim Brando and Marv Levy with you. We're happy you joined us. Some play action from Stoudt. Boy, does he have time. Had no one to throw to. Finally ran out of bounds, just shy of the 44.
Well, play action really helps Birmingham on first down. We get another look at Reggie White right in the middle of your screen in red, playing nose tackle, being double teamed there by Saindon, number 70. Joe Cribbs gets in on it. Buddy Adelette gets in on it. Battaglia was in it. They had 4 people take their shot at different times on Reggie White, and of course he didn't get to the passer. I don't know who was blocking the rest of them, by the way.
Well, he had plenty of time to find a man. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Robin shy of the first down. Or he may have it. We'll wait for the mark. Will Coakley, along with Leonard Coleman there to knock him out of bounds.
Stoudt came back with a pattern. It wasn't the same play fake, with a pattern identical to the one he had the previous down when he should have thrown into the flat to Robert Earl and didn't. He realized his mistake this time, came right to Earl.
Raleigh Dosh has really had some depleted receivers of late. He's lost a bunch of them. Joey Jones's mother became seriously ill on the way here tonight, and he's not playing. Ken Toller is in for him. Mason is out of the lineup, so Robin Earl drawing the start at tight end. There's the bomb. He's looking for Smith. Intercepted inside the 5, it appears. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, if it was going to be incomplete anyway, he was better off having it intercepted because it's
Number 53 on the defense.
We've got a marker down. They may call it back. Coleman came up with it. He was fighting with Smith inside the 5-yard line.
Well, apparently it's a penalty on the play. Here's John Corker, number 53. Offside just before the snap. He's at the top of your screen. He was blitzing on the play. Was picked up, wasn't a factor on the blitz, but the offside nullifies the interception. That wouldn't have been too bad because they're way down their 5, but it's a first down.
Yeah. Pepper Rogers unhappy perhaps a bit about that, but you're right. They would have been on their patio with the ball had he been given credit for the interception. First down and 10. Birmingham now at the Memphis 43. Single setback. That's Cribbs, and he gets it. He got away. He's got some room on the weak side. First down to the 26. Vestaloo finally got him.
Well, you can't draw a play like that as a coach. There's no way you can put that one on the blackboard. Reggie White had him stopped, straight back like Joe Cribbs, pulled away, reversed his field. Here you see he's trying to hit up over the right side, takes a little counter step. He's wrapped up in there by White and gets spun around. Barney Bussey almost gets in on it, and the side of the field is denuded. Cribbs knows where to go with it.
They mark it at the 27-yard line. First and 10 Birmingham. They trail Memphis 7-0 with 5:45 to play in the first quarter. Toller's got it at the 18, and was he hit? The first guy that got him was Mosi Cade. Ken Toller, 8 receptions for 150 yards. As we mentioned, pressed into duty tonight with the loss of Joey Jones.
That was quite a grab by Toller. His average per catch is pretty good, 18.8. Got good deep speed. It was a good catch. It takes a lot of courage and concentration to make that kind of catch.
He got 9. It's second down and a yard to go. So Stoudt can exercise a lot of options here. He goes with the basic one inside the 15 to the 14. Joe Cribbs. Vestaloo made the stop. That's Raleigh Dosh football, though, isn't it?
Well, yes, and particularly here. That was an inside trap play, and what you look for down here a lot is safety blitzes. Everybody blowing upfield, and they're easy to trap because they're not under control and reading the defense isn't under control, reading the blocking pattern. They're laying back their ears and coming upfield. A trap is a good play at that part of the field. You either get nothing or you go all the way into the end zone.
Memphis leading Birmingham by a touchdown, but the Stallions are on the move. First and 10. He's looking and goes to the secondary receiver. That's Cribbs. Stopped at the 13 by Will Coakley. Coakley out of Kansas in his 4th year as a pro.
Now, one of the standout players in the secondary all season for Memphis, and probably unheralded because of Bossy Cade and Coleman, is Barney Bussey. He made a fine play there. Bussey, you see him number 8, dropping back in a deep zone to take away the in pattern. The ball's flared out wide, and he really turns it on. Runs all the way across field to help get in on the tackle. He's not the primary tackler, but he would have been there had he broken the tackle. The ball carrier broken the tackle.
Second and 10. Oh, option series here. Reggie White's there. Sam Clancy, I beg your pardon. Clancy, about the same size as Reggie White, 6'7" and 260 pounds. He was not fooled that time.
Another look. Stoudt makes a reverse pivot. Now he's going to come down the line and try and run an option against Carlton Rose. And I don't know why he didn't keep coming. He should have kept coming. He sort of pulled up and tried to duck inside, and just that slight delay put Sam Clancy, who you see right there, in his face. Clancy has not played up to expectations this year. He's been hampered by a hamstring, looking pretty good tonight.
You know, he didn't even play football in college. He was a basketball player at Pitt. He's become some pro in this league. 3rd and 13. That's Cripps. Little Showboat red given from Bussey and Company.
Well, people will question that call, but last week in a very similar situation, Pepper Rogers ran a similar play and scored with 14 seconds left in the half. You hope to catch the defense playing pass and hope that a great back like Cripps can take it in. If not, they're going to try a field goal. When it doesn't work, I have to say it's surprising they didn't throw.
Danny Miller will try the field goal. Bob Lane will hold. It'll be a 31-yard attempt. He got it. With 2 minutes and 24 seconds, Raleigh Dodgett Stallions have gotten on the board. They trail the Showboats by 4. The Birmingham Stallions, after a 31-yard field goal from Danny Miller, trail Memphis 7-3. Tim Brando and Marv Levy with you. The ESPN USFL Friday night game of the week. We're happy you joined us. Again, they're trying to keep it away from Williams, but again, he gets it. He fumbles it. It's still free in the Stallions' half. It appears that Ken Toller might be the guy that came up with it.
Actually, the Birmingham plan in bouncing those kickoffs is just to destroy the rhythm. Here we see the ball bouncing. The blocking rhythm doesn't take place. Number 26, Ricky Porter, not quite sure what to do. Now Williams coming upfield without the right kind of blocking. A hand comes in, the ball shoots loose, and turnovers, which have been so much a part of the Stallions' success, work to their advantage here, or at least should be. They have great field position on the 33-yard line.
Ted Walton stripped it away. There you see the takeaway giveaway ratio. Birmingham easily on top in that category. They have an opportunity now to make good use of it. Jim Smith. Stoudt looks, and there's Smith wide open. Touchdown. There's the big play. Marv, you mentioned it at the outset of the game. They needed it. Leonard Coleman was not within 2 steps of Smith that time.
No, and that's the time that after you get a big turnover and you're going to go with big play. Here's Stoudt coming straight back, looking to his left, his right, but he's thinking Smith. Smith is one-on-one all the way there on Coleman. He hasn't beaten. It's a perfect pass. I had mentioned it to you right before the play. Look for Jim Smith. Another angle again. Stoudt just looking him off here. Plants right on rhythm. A beautifully lofted ball. Smith can beat any corner in this league, believe me. I think he's the finest wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, I think you did say something about Smith. We've got markers down on the extra point attempt. So we'll see what happens there. Miller may have to come back. We'll wait. It does appear as though it's against Birmingham.
Illegal formation, number 99 on the offense.
That could be a multitude of things. A man could have not reported. He could have lined up off the line of scrimmage or too close to the line of scrimmage. Where 99 is Ron Padgett. Normally a defensive lineman who they specialize in on these kicking teams.
There's Jim Smith. Some believe that he's the best wide receiver in this league. 33 yards on the touchdown reception from Stoudt. Suddenly now Birmingham up by a deuce. They're looking for the 3-point advantage here. And he missed it. Miller will argue the point. He doesn't believe it. Neither does Raleigh Dodge. A timeout with 1:44 left in the first quarter. It's a 2-point lead for the Stallions. Birmingham leads by 2, and Miller may have a reason to bark here, Marv.
Well, here we see him kicking, and into the screen Running into him is what Miller says was running into the kicker. Now, if the man came straight into him like that, Miller is correct. If, however, the wingback blocked the man into Miller, then the referee or any official would not throw a flag.
That's his first extra point that he's missed all year. Eric Crawford now is back deep rather than Henry Williams. Comes to the short man. That's Parker. He's up to the 45-yard line. Thomas Boyd made the stop for Birmingham.
Tim, that's one of the things you're risking. You start using unusual kicks. There's some other good players on the field, too. And even though you break the rhythm, if the ball does get through everybody, fine. If it doesn't get through everybody, the team returning is going to have darn good field position, which Memphis has in this situation.
Dosh relying on his defense. I guess that's a compliment. They are a pretty steady defense. The ball's at the 45 for the Showboats. They trail 9-7. Glittering moments of the first quarter here. Markers down all over the place. The pass was intended for Gary Shirk. Shirk in his 12th season from Morehead State. Played in the NFL, of course, and with the Memphis team of the WFL.
12 men on the field on the defense.
That's confidence in your defense. Put an extra guy out there, right?
Well, Raleigh is very distressed. That's right. He's had two key plays now in very short order go against him. An illegal formation by one of his players, and now 12 men on the field. And he's really disturbed. First down with 5 to go, now at midfield.
Raleigh Dosh expects the best from his team. He's been a part of championship teams, having been at Green Bay as an offensive line coach. More notably, perhaps, with Chuck Noll at Pittsburgh during their glory year. Sidney gets it and doesn't get far. Herbie Spencer made the stop along with Purifoy.
1st and 5 is probably the heaviest running down you're going to get out in the field right here. Not a very likely passing down. You throw an incomplete pass and you're sort of back in a 2nd and 5, which you don't have the advantage anymore. You run on 1st down, you're 2nd and 3 now, and in good shape with a chance of having gotten the 1st down right there.
Tim Spencer's come out of the game. Parker's clocked in, along with Sidney. Play action, the pass to Shirk for the 1st down. They'll mark it at the 41-yard line. David Dumar is out of Northeast Louisiana University, knocked him out, and Shirk is coming up a bit gimpy.
Looks like he twisted his ankle just as he went out of bounds. Still working that very short pass game. Play action fake. They were playing a zone. The strong safety dropped relatively deep on the play, David Dumars did. So he immediately unloaded to Shirk. Dumars reacted, but they had the 1st down.
This will be the last play of the first quarter. 2 seconds are left. Kelley to Spencer. Mickey Sutton with the open field tackle. And that's the end of the first quarter. Our score, the Birmingham Stallions 9, the Memphis Showboats 7. Back to Tennessee in a moment. A full moon here in Memphis, Tennessee, and opportunism reigns supreme for Birmingham as usual, making good use of a turnover on a kickoff to take a 9-7 lead over the Memphis Showboats as we start play here in the second quarter. It's been a heck of a game so far, Mark.
Very good game. Both teams adhering to their stated game plans at the outset.
2nd down and 4. Quite a run there by Ricky Porter. Chuck Clanton finally stopped him.
They're getting some good work out of their so-called backup running backs, Porter and Parker. Porter doing a fine job here. Harry Sidney leading the blocking. They bring it back to Porter. There's a gaping hole on that side. He goes heading straight for where he should go, the goal line. We used to tell our running backs, you go that way, there's the goal line. You run sideways, there's the bench. Where would you rather be?
Right. Setbacks are split now behind Kelley. Sidney remains in the game along with Porter. Crawford to the top of your screen in single coverage. Kelley. Incomplete, markers fly. Dennis Woodbury will be called for interference, and Kelley loves it.
It looks from up here as if Woodbury did wrap up Moser before the ball got to him. Now let's see if it's a call.
Pass interference, number 21 on the defense. First down.
Kelley was hit hard just as he released that ball, so that added to his glee a little bit. We have a player down on the Stallions.
That's Jackie Klein, the left tackle in that four-man front in his fourth season from Alabama. That's a load, 6'5", 272 pounds.
They have two very strong defensive tackles in that four-man line.
While they attend to Klein, we'll tell you that the Showboats are on a roll. They trail the Stallions by 2. Ball's at the 8-yard line now. Birmingham leading Memphis by a score of 9-7, first and goal. That's Porter again. Ricky Porter. Dave Purifoy made the stop for Birmingham.
That was a formation which said they're going to sprint to the right. Kelley starts out to the right. Porter taking it on a counter play with Huffman and also Ken Smith pulling, but they had it analyzed. They stopped it. This is a strong, tough defense that they're going against here. And the Stallions, and they moved the ball pretty well so far. This is a play action down, or a pass down, really.
Russ Bollinger has come into the game at left guard for the Showboats. Crawford went with the out pattern, and Kelley expected another move. He didn't get it.
Well, what happened there, it was basically an out pattern. If the defender is off of you, if the defender is up crowding, the receiver is supposed to just take off, and you're going to try and lay it over him. You won't run the out. They misread it. Crawford felt that Evans was off of him. Kelley felt that he wasn't off of him. Kelley expected him to go upfield.
Third down and goal now at the 9. Crawford will go to the top of your screen as you view it. Porter and Parker are the setbacks. Crawford, touchdown! David Evans was caught in single coverage that time. And it's 13-9 in favor of Memphis now.
Well, it is. It's the same pattern that Waller Lewis favored down here, by the way. There's quick slant in to Crawford. Derek Crawford. Very good. One-on-one. Evans is looking in at the quarterback rather at the man he's supposed to cover, which is a mistake. You can look in there if you're playing zone, but if you look at man, you better look at the man you're covering. Crawford's too quick anyway and beat him.
Duncan's extra point is good. The Showboats now lead Birmingham 14-10 from Memphis. Live Saturday, May 4th here on ESPN. Tampa Bay and Los Angeles coming up right here on your source for sports tomorrow. There's Derek Crawford. He's happy. Homespun star from Memphis State, now in his third season. Paulot Caruth takes it in at his 13. Mosi Cade knocked him out of bounds at the 25. The scoring drive, 7 plays, 55 yards, 3:41 off the clock before the touchdown aerial Kelley to Crawford. They've had a couple of drives now, each of them taking just 7 plays, and they've been awfully productive. They've been a juggernaut when they've had good field position, Marv, this Memphis ball club.
They certainly have, Tim, and they've worked that short passing game to perfection, mixing in the run effectively when they've had to. Birmingham relies on their defense to allow them to use their offensive game plan, and so far it hasn't been holding up well enough.
Stoudt has not had a shabby night either. He's only missed on 1 attempt passing. Smith has got it at the 29. Mosi Cade there to wrap him up. He's jawing a little bit with Mosi right there. Pepper Rogers talking with his offensive brain trust. You know, he lost his offensive coordinator. Charlie Waller left here a couple of weeks ago amid a great deal of controversy. He said since that time, we've just been playing pepper ball.
Well, he sort of reassumed control of the offense, and those things happen. There's some taut nerves about this time of the year in coaching.
Second down and 5 for Birmingham, just shy of the 30. Stout has some room to perhaps run, but can't get away from Calvin Clark.
Stoudt has hurt Memphis on many occasions in the past with his scrambling ability. They just drop back and play a very pure zone coverage here. Nothing is really open. Stoudt can't find anything. He thinks he sees a crease up the left side, but great reaction there by Clark. Holds it to a very minimal gain by Stoudt.
Out of Purdue is Calvin Clark in his 4th professional season. Stout's not given enough credit for being a good runner. He has been able to chalk up some yardage. Third down and 4 now out of the shotgun. The pass was taken in by Joel Coles. Shy of the first down, it appears. Veselu in on the stop.
They had double covered both wide receivers on the play. When Stoudt saw it, he figured I can hit the back underneath, and he's got to run for a couple of yards. But a quick tackle turns it off. And, of course, Bob Parsons into this punting situation to a dangerous return man.
Henry Williams is waiting for it. Remember now, the last time he touched it, he fumbled it on a kickoff return. That led Birmingham to its touchdown to take the lead at that time, 9-7. Obviously kicking for the sidelines. Williams does get it and is promptly taken out of bounds at the 37-yard line. David Evans horse-collared him there. We have a timeout on the field with 10:24 left. Donnie Veselu and company feeling pretty good. They're up by 5 right now. First and 10. That one went for nothing. Herbie Spencer was in on the pile, stacking up another Spencer, this one of Memphis infamy.
I think he went wide of the hole here. He brings the ball back. The guard pulled, trapped out. The hole is clogged, and Spencer tried to jump outside of the hole. There was nothing there. Spencer stopped Spencer on that one.
Out of Little Newberry College, Herb Spencer.
He's a very productive player. He's got a lot of tackles, tied for number 1 in the club.
Second down and 13 now for the Showboats. Kelley to Moser.
Continuing to work that short game.
Dumars took him down.
They continue to work that short underneath game, as we can see. And notice how quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, a couple of stutters, he deals it off to an underneath pattern to Moser. It was a zone because or else a combination. Number 22 came in. Number 61 in red, Ken Smith there picking up Malcolm Taylor on the pass block. Ken Smith is an underrated player. We've seen him many weeks and he's performed very well as he did on that play.
Third down and 2 now for Memphis. A possession down here. Setbacks are split. Play action again. Shirk. First down. And he took quite a blow from Chuck Clanton. Clanton, the interceptor and the hitman in that Birmingham defensive backfield. And the fans love Shirk's steadiness here.
Replay again. Another play action pass in short yardage. They had one on the goal line and scored for him earlier to Rao. He deals it off. We get the first down. The coach says, gee, that's great. Shirk says, wait a minute, it's okay, but not that great. But they did pick up the first down. By the way, that was not Malcolm Taylor in the previous down that Ken Smith was blocking against. It was Mike Sametta, number 9.
First and 10, just shy of midfield. Little razzle-dazzle to Crawford. He had some blocking in front of him. Clanton made the stop, but that one looks as if it may go just a bit further.
Well, it did. It's a fake of an inside play on first and 10, and then the wide receiver took one step downfield to get Evans off of him. Evans is a little bit afraid of him now. Comes back, receives the ball, and a swift player like that can be very dangerous with some good blocking out in front of him by a pulling lineman.
Louise Sharp was trying to provide the room for Crawford there. By the way, Gary Shirk has gone into the locker room getting some stitches on his chin after taking that blow from Clanton earlier. Inside handoff, not a lot of room that time. Oh, you just do not run into that Birmingham defensive forward wall and get a lot of yards that often. That time it was Spencer, bottled up after a couple of yards, second down and 8.
They're very difficult to run against. They give you more and varied defensive looks than any other team in the United States Football League. All types of combinations of alignments and of personnel. A lot of 2 linebacker defenses, or 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. You have to audibilize a great deal against them in order to, when you see a weak spot, to try and attack it.
Second down and a long 8 for Memphis. Kelley with time. That's Parker. Clanton again right on top of him to put the clamps on him. It'll be 3rd and 3 after a gain of 5. You talk about offensive schemes, but in order to have an offensive scheme, if you're Raleigh Dashi, you have to get good defensive play, and that sets it up for Birmingham game in and game out.
There's no such thing, Tim, as an offensive game plan that's going to work if your defense doesn't play well. If they don't play well, you're struggling to get back in the game all the time, and all those offensive plans go out the window. With a good defense, you now have an offensive plan that you can put into effect. If it doesn't succeed this series, you're still in the game next series and do it.
The animated Pepper Rogers with Walter Lewis by his side, looking on. 3rd and 3. Kelley has his man again. That's Moser. Dumars stopped him. The crowd loves it, and Memphis's drive continues.
Here we see Moser again. He's starting to come in. He's a man in motion. The ball is snapped. He starts to drive upfield and then breaks back to the outside. Again, the short pass game. Kelley, and this is why he has to execute his short pass game here, because there's the ball delivered, and there's somebody down around his legs already taking him to the ground. If they start throwing a lot of deep patterns, the same thing's going to happen to them that happened in their previous game when they got sacked so many times.
This has been a great show offensively for both quarterbacks. Stoudt having a good night. Kelley 10 of 12 at the outset of this game. 5:22 left to play in the first half. That's Anthony Parker. Spencer and on the stop for Birmingham.
They're getting an awful lot of mileage, the Showboats are, from those 2 backup running backs. Anthony Parker and Ricky Porter are carrying a bigger and bigger load each week, and I think they're trying to take the load off of Tim Spencer and let Spencer work back in and gain his confidence and eventually blossom back to where he was.
Walter Lewis, the leading ground gainer for this club, still has the longest gain from scrimmage off the Pepper Pet play. First play of the game. 2nd and 5. Another first down inside the 10. Ricky Porter this time. Ken Kelley made the stop for Birmingham.
Good blocking adjustments by the Memphis offensive line. An inside linebacker and a strong safety try to blitz. They block down on him, pick him up. Bill Rowe is over there, gets a good lick, doesn't make the stop. And again, they get a good chunk of yards on the play.
May be the only way you run against this club. Pitch outs to the right or the left with some help from pulling guards.
Well, when they're blitzing up the middle like that, you're either going to trap them and hope you pop one, or else block everybody down and get to the outside. 1st and goal at the 9. Setbacks are split. Crawford at the top of your screen. Kelley. Corral. Filled at the 3-yard line. Bill Rowe was there, the awfully active middle linebacker for Birmingham. Here we see ground level shot again. Kelley coming back, a blitz by the outside by the strong safety. Dumars is picked up. He drills the ball in good and low. Bill Rowe there to make the tackle, but Rowe caught the ball. And they continue to move it with that finely executed, scalpel-like short passing game.
Kelley will take time out to go talk to the surgeon, right? Pepper Rogers is the maestro tonight. He's been pulling all the strings in Memphis.
Well, he's having fun. And as a head coach, I think you have to involve yourself heavily in one section of the game, whether it's offense, defense, or kicking. Kelley has hit 13 out of 15 passes tonight for 120 yards. Quite a performance.
Second down and 3. I think they're going to run here, too. So does Birmingham. They didn't. And they would have had a touchdown. Rowell slipped. He couldn't get his balance in the end zone.
Actually, that play was designed on off the inside fake for Kelley to really get wide and attack the corner and had the option to run or pass. The defensive corner blitzed on a wide angle and contained him, made him throw earlier than he would have liked to. Took away the run option completely.
Raleigh Dosh, you got to believe defensing this club from Memphis tonight is pretty difficult because they've been throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Birmingham. Just over 3 minutes to play in the first half. The Showboats trying to pad their lead here. 3rd and 3. Spencer lost it. Mickey Sutton was in the general area. He may not have gotten into the end zone had he come up with it, but it should be field goal time for Alan Duncan. Kelley's upset with himself.
Well, it was a tough ball to catch the way he threw it. He did hit him on the hands, but the receiver was going away from him and had to look back very sharply over his shoulders. He put it in his back ear or over his back ear, making it a difficult catch.
Not a lot of room, though, for Spencer once he turned around, even if he had come up with it.
That would have been a battle between Spencer and Sutton, as you had pointed out.
20 to 29 is a good distance for this guy. It would give Memphis an 8-point lead. From 20 yards, he nails it. The Memphis fans are happy about Alan Duncan, a guy that was cut after a game just a few weeks ago, then returned, won a football game, missed a few kicks against New Jersey. He's been on a bit of a roller coaster ride himself.
He's been up and down, but most of those kickers are. It takes quite a while or tremendously successful season before they can establish themselves. When a kicker is having a little trouble, I used to really hope he gets a couple of short ones, really short ones. If he makes them, it bolsters his confidence, and if he can't make those, it makes my decision easy. It's in terms of bringing back another player.
Look at this first half dominance for Birmingham. In both games, they got off to great starts. This time, they're down 17-9, so that may tell us something in the second half.
Well, certainly this pattern is different from the previous games between these two teams.
Memphis leading Birmingham 17-9. 3 minutes left in the first half. There's Mark Rowell getting instructions from Pepper Rogers. Alan Duncan will tee it up. Back deep. Paul Carew. And also there with him,
I think it's Thad McFadden,
number 1 receiver. He's great on punch. Let's see how he handles this kick. McFadden up to the 31-yard line. Parker and Porter both were there to make the stop.
McFadden looked pretty good to me on that.
Yeah. They think he'll be a heck of a receiver someday soon, too. Thad McFadden.
Raleigh was saying that today. He's very pleased with him as a kick returner and said, and he went out of his way to make the point you've just made now.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the half. Birmingham trailing 17-9. We're on ESPN. USFL action on this beautiful Friday night in Memphis, Tennessee. Tim Brando and Mark Levy with you. We're happy you joined us. Cribbs the lone setback for Stoudt. That's Jim Smith wisely going out of bounds at the 39. Corker and Hammond were in the general area. Smith took the easy way out.
They're playing a little bit looser. Stoudt coming back. Stoudt does a good job of reading the entire field. He looks downfield for his wide receiver, sees that there's been a deep drop to take it away, so it knows that Smith is coming across underneath and hits him there very effectively, and Smith steps out of bounds, kills the clock, and doesn't take that lick from Corker that was coming up.
Smith is in the slot now. Cribbs gets it. Pretty good yardage. He's up to the 44.
Well, Tim, they're using 3 wide receivers, which says to the defense, we're in a passing formation. We're going to throw. So the defense does loosen it. A trap play is pretty good. I don't know if they'll get another play off or not. They got about 5 seconds.
Before we get the 2-minute warning, and Stout's already headed for the sideline. Cliff Stoudt trying to lead his team down the field to get within 1 before the end of the half. They trail it now 17-9. Thank you very much. The Memphis Showboats are leading the Birmingham Stallions here 17-9. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Joe Cribbs having a decent night tonight. 6 carries for Cribbs, 36 yards. He's back there now blocking for Stoudt out of the shotgun. He gets it to midfield, the 40, the 30, and down at the 28. Bestaloo finally got him.
That's amazing. This is where Cribbs is so effective as a screen pass receiver or any type of pass receiver. But you can't let this happen defensively with this much time left. Just a little chuck out to the side to a running back who breaks so many tackles, gets some good blocking out in front. Cribbs really bursts through a crease.
For a moment there, it appeared he was on to pay dirt. 1st and 10, Stoudt finds Toller. Stopped at the 15. Barney Bussey and Don Bessalou both were there. So now the Stallions trying to make some noise before the end of the half. Both clubs have 2 timeouts left with 1:35 to play in the half.
They've got plenty of time to wring everything out of this drive to make the touchdown attempt and still kick a field goal without hurrying at all.
This is quite an atmosphere here in Memphis, isn't it? Stoudt finally stopped by Corker. He nearly got away from Corker there.
He nearly did. I'm surprised he didn't get himself out of bounds, however. Still, there's not that much of a press with 2 timeouts remaining. A sack does stop the clock until the receivers return to the huddle, but now it's running again. It's down about 1:05 at this point.
Loss of 5, 2nd down and 15 coming up for the Birmingham Stallions. Corker trying to pick up from where he left off in last week's win against Denver.
Wide receiver at the top.
Toller. And no, it's going to be Smith. He stopped at the 15-yard line. Hammond there to make the stop.
Here again, we see Jim Smith right in the middle of your screen, number 86, going against his own defense, running a short hook route. It was a zone. A quick reaction by the defense, Steve Hammond.
36 seconds left, 3rd and 10. Touchdown, Smith. Boy, you could see that one coming. Bussey and Bessalou were crossed up in coverage, and now Birmingham just a point away.
Well, we get a replay here. Stoudt has a lot of time to throw this ball. He's getting excellent protection up front. Buddy Inlet, number 78. Throws the ball just over the hands of the linebacker. You see there taking a shot at it. Now, here's Jim Smith, right in the middle of your screen, moving to the left, taking an inside break. I believe Bessalou had inside coverage on him while Bussey had outside coverage. And when he broke to the inside, the outside fake throws Bessalou. That's quite a drive to pull off in the last 2 minutes when you're down by, would have been down by 8 points.
Just 30 seconds left. Jim Smith with the touchdown reception. And they're down by 2, and it appears now that they'll be going for 2.
Well, I would guess this is a type of situation where you usually would go for 2 points.
Why not?
Well, Of course, it's 2 points, ties at 1 point, leaves them a point behind. It all depends on how the coach sees it. He says, I want the sure point still. There's going to be more scoring on both sides. Nevertheless, the conventional wisdom says go for 2.
That's right.
And you and I are both conventional, believe it, in this instance, believe that he ought to.
Now, that guy's not conventional. Pepper Rogers?
No, he sure isn't. He's not happy either right now.
You're right. Stoudt took a little heat on that particular play as well.
Well, yes, he did. Here we see him getting ready to throw. Calvin Clark really lets him have it. He just wants to know what happened to the ball. Clark didn't bother him too much. He sees from the ground what happened, gets up and does the politician job, and shakes hands with the offensive lineman.
That's right. Pat Sandin was there to say, no problem, Cliff. It got in.
Going for 2. There's Stoudt in the game with his regular personnel.
We've got 2 tight ends in the game now, Jim Brown and Robin Earl. Cribbs the lone setback. Toller to the top of your screen. That's Toller. No signal as
Still
yet.
haven't called it.
No, they haven't.
Still haven't called it.
Stoudt may throw the red flag here. Yep, they're giving him it, yes.
Well, we may see a red flag from Pepper just because what do you got to lose with 30 seconds to go?
Toller had extended himself, but his feet were in the end zone, it appeared, from our vantage point.
Well, let's take a look. Stoudt really wanted to go to his left. He still wants to go to his left. Sees Toller. Caught the ball. No, he's in. He's in. I don't have the great angle on it, but he comes down definitely over the plane of the goal line when he settles.
So Ken Toller takes in the 2-pointer. Smith got the touchdown, and we're tied at 17. Hush has gotten a lot of support from President Gary Sklar in what has really been a very, very difficult time for this organization. He says most teams play to win. We play to eat, especially the last few weeks. El Squibbit. Sidney gets it. Harry Sidney up to the 43. Now, with 25 seconds left, you sacrifice field position again. Ted Walton made the stop for Birmingham.
I agree. That kick really gives the Showboats a legitimate opportunity to move into field goal position here. They have a couple of timeouts remaining to them. They've got the ball right up around across their 40-yard line, a completion or 2, and they've got a chance for a field goal. If you're going to squib it, guys always misunderstood squib. Squib it deep. Squib it deep.
Mike Kelley has Parker and Porter in his backfield. Crawford at the top of your screen. That's Moser in motion. He has time. Taken there by Parker, Anthony Parker, and a timeout is called with the ball at midfield. 15 seconds left, and just as you said, Marv, still plenty of time.
Well, there's time. They can get off, particularly with a timeout remaining to them.
Moser to the bottom of your screen. Time remaining, you see at the top. Kelley. Oh, he's got him. Flags go down in the backfield. We may have roughing the passer coming up here, perhaps, or holding. We'll have to wait and see in the Memphis backfield.
Usually one of the two. They're walking back, so it looks like it's probably a Memphis.
Unnecessary roughness, number 67, the offense.
Louis Sharp. Sharp just obtained from St. Louis, of course. He was the number 1 round draft pick out of UCLA in his 5th season as a pro.
Sharp there, he was saying, did you see what he did to me first? That's probably what he was saying, and Kelley was saying something a little stronger than that.
That pass across the middle to Moser has been set up so nicely by those out patterns that they've been using throughout the course of the first half.
Well, they have. That was a situation, however, where they had to go deep. They felt they had to go down the middle. They could afford to risk an interception there in order to try and get closer. He really laid the ball right over the linebackers into the crease of a deep dropping zone there.
Well, that pretty much takes Birmingham out of trouble, you'd think, with 7 seconds left in terms of giving up a field goal. Now, we know there's 1 play remaining at least for Memphis.
This is where you throw deep and hope you get a lucky bounce or pass interference. Except pass interference will only be a 15-yarder here.
Picked off by Spencer, Herbie Spencer. There's a little lateral to David Evans. A little Cal Berkeley action there coming at the end of the first half.
Yeah, they played it better than Stanford Band on defense.
And we have a little more action along the sideline, and the Memphis sidelines has made its way over to Birmingham. These two clubs really don't like one another. There's a lot of ill will here as we come down to the end of the half.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
Front offices aren't too happy with one another either over the Joe Cribbs signing a few years ago. We're at halftime. It's been a great one. Pepper ball against Raleigh Dosh's consistent possession, opportunism brand of football. We're tied at 17 at halftime. Jim Smith has had an outstanding evening. 5 receptions, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. He certainly is the big play guy if Birmingham is to come up with a number of them during the course of any one game.
Yes, and there's the other one, Joe Cribbs. They're two big play people, along with Joey Jones, who is not in the game tonight because of an illness in his family.
His mother, on the way over, suffered a stroke, and he had to go and be with her, and our best wishes go out to Joey and his family. Harry Sidney there from the Memphis Showboats looking on. They really have spread the wealth. The Memphis running backs. There's another one of them right there. And Ricky Porter. They have gotten those 53 yards from all 4 of those guys.
Well, it's a very unselfish type of offense that they seem to have right now. They are spreading it around, as you say. A lot of guys are catching and a lot of guys are carrying.
Duncan kicks off. Thad McFadden has it. Dances and prances to the 27-yard line. Making the stop, Steve Bearden for Memphis. Cliff Stoudt coming back out on the field. Completed 11 passes in a row in the first half. He and his counterpart, Mike Kelley, have put on a clinic. You get the feeling that Smith and Stoudt, because of their background in the NFL, they know one another so well. They have a feel for one another from time to time. They just smell a big play. 1st and 10 from the 27. There he is. Smith's got it between 2 defenders, both Bessalou and Coleman. It's up to the 38-yard line for the first down.
Smith is split wide to his own left out here. See him start to drive upfield hard, then he runs a good, sharp, slanted break in pair, and the ball's a little bit further in front of him than he had wanted it to be with those 2 guys converging, but his concentration remains keen, and he grabs the ball. Those 2 guys have played a lot of catch together after practice. You can rely on that.
Setbacks are split. Toller up at the top of your screen. Carruth. Spun down hard at the 41-yard line. Bessalou again there.
That is a favorite play of the Birmingham Stallions, just as it was of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the fullback trap to the weak side. Franco Harris ran it so well for the Steelers. And this club, under Raleigh Dodge, who coached 5 years, we see Raleigh there as the line coach of the Steelers, is running the Pittsburgh Steeler offense.
That guy with him, Carruth, has a great future. Out of the state of Mississippi, recruited in college as a quarterback by many. Alabama got him, and they made a running back out of him. 2nd down and 6. Stoudt tried for the hook slide and then thought better of that maneuver and is stopped by Bessalou. Apparently a little shy of the first down.
On the previous play, they trapped the defensive end. So now Clark is coming down hard, hoping not to be trapped again. Stoudt rolls to the outside and gets some very effective blocking and a little bit of holding on the outside by Jim Smith.
They've got an outstanding front line, Raleigh Dosh's team. He's very high on Sandin and Buddy Adelet, the 2 guards. Italia is his center. On 1st and 10, Robin Earl fumbles it. Mosi Kane has got it.
look at it. Fake of a trap play here to Joe Cribbs, and a quick pump, and a shot goes there. And there's the hit to knock it loose right there by number 47, Don Bessalou. Mossy Cade picks it up, and he's tracked, at least he's slowed by Cliff Stoudt, and finally tackled by Ken Toller. Stoudt got over there and didn't want to see that turn into a touchdown.
What a 1-2 punch. Cade, a number 1 round draft pick in the NFL. They got him over here this year along with Coleman. And now with the experience of Bessalou, that 1-2 punch came through. There's Sidney carrying the ball down inside the 20 to the 17. Lifts out unhappy. You can certainly understand why. He had his club moving and moving rather well up until that fumble given up by Earl.
Well, that's the first turnover for the Stallions, and it wasn't Stoudt really that turned it over. He clicked on a well-executed pass play.
First down pass as well. Second down and 6 out of a 9. Kelley. Dumars with the coverage, and the crowd wanted a flag. They won't get it.
No, they won't. He played it well. He was right with him. Here's the delivery by Kelley. We'll get a look right now. Dumars closing in just as the ball comes, bring it down. I wouldn't call it interference. I think they get called too often on interference anyway, but I'm prejudiced along those lines, and I have been for years.
Yeah, you work with George Allen. Easy for you to say. 3rd and 6.
Well, they make it too tough for the defense.
Crawford at the top of your screen. Sidney! Touchdown! Here in the land of cotton, he had a lot of terrain to cover.
Yes, he did. There's a slant charge there. It was an audible, a good trap block by Ken Smith, number 61. Some fine running by Sidney Tim Spencer downfield, looking for someone to block, at least being in the way. Well executed, and it was an audible call where he picked up something in the defense and told him to call it.
Duncan's kick is good. And just as in the first half, the Showboats begin steaming and open up with some thunder. They lead by a score of 24 to 17. The Memphis fans love it. Their club up by 7. Caruth is back in the end zone, and there's more reason to cheer now.
Well, that's something they've been looking for out of Alan Duncan. Stronger leg on the kickoff. There's a pretty good breeze tonight. It's hard to tell which way it's going.
Pepper, get pumped up, will you?
He not only puts on a show, he applauds for himself when the act is over.
He won't get Best Dressed Coach of the Year award, but he's happy enough right now. Stout's completion percentage.
Well, it was a good throw and a good call last night, but doing what's right, there's no assurance that misfortune isn't going to hit anyway.
That's right. 1st and 10. There's Cribbs. He's had a good night so far. He has 8 more. Hammond again in on the action, along with Leonard Coleman. Hammond may be one of the more under-publicized linebackers in the USFL.
He is. He is tied for the lead coming into this game in tackles along with Reggie White, but he had missed about 3 or 4 games. He's been their leading tackler in previous seasons, and he has really impressed me over the past several weeks as we've watched him play. Stays in on nickel defense, plays every down.
Harry Sidney just happy to be a Showboat on the sideline. 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Stallions. Stoudt was in trouble right from the beginning of that play. Blitzing linebackers and then some. Bessalou was also coming. Carlton Rose in on the action. That play just had no chance to develop. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Caruth was the intended receiver.
Well, it was a play-action pass, and a blitz against a play-action pass is sensational because you're not going to be fooled by it. You're not going to say, is it a runner, is it a pass, if you're supposed to blitz. You're just coming, and you're more difficult to pick up if the back is faking rather than looking for blocking all the way.
3rd down and 3 for Birmingham. They trail 24-17 with just over 10 minutes to play in the third quarter here in Memphis. Stoudt has room. Dragged down by Hammond again. Hammond nearly got him before he had room to pick up the first down, but he stumbled forward.
I'll tell you, if he didn't get him, they would have been in big trouble. Hammond starts to blitz. It's a bootleg. He's got a lot of room in front of him there, and Hammond just rakes down his legs and trips him up, or he would have had a very sizable gain. It was man-to-man coverage. The defenders had run way off with receivers who were going deep.
He has great speed in his fifth year out of Wake Forest. Stoudt is not that slow a foot. First down and 10. The ball at the 33. Birmingham. Cribbs is stacked up after a couple. Corker along with White making the stop.
Tim, Memphis is letting it all hang out here early in the going in the second half. They are blitzing just about every down. They're bringing safety men. That time they brought Corker. The down before they brought Hammond. They had all 11 men right at the line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, they're using a much more aggressive style in the second half, hoping that Birmingham tried to make adjustments to what they were seeing in the first half.
Apparently an official's timeout here. Birmingham had owned a perfect 8-0 mark against last year's expansion clubs, but now they've lost a couple of games this season to expansion clubs. Seems like San Antonio and Jacksonville.
Here's another one tonight.
Complete to Robin Earl. Up to about the 43, maybe the 44-yard line. Close to another first down. On a 2nd and 8 play, Stoudt again had plenty of time.
Robin Earl fighting very hard for that yardage. I'm sure he's trying to atone for the fumble that occurred and helped set up the Memphis go-ahead touchdown a little while ago.
We have an injured Showboat. It's hard to pick up exactly who it is right now. A little Southern hospitality here tonight from Memphis, Tennessee. Showboats leading 24-17. First and 10 now for Birmingham. Cribbs to the 48. Brett Williams, who came into the game for White, along with Carlton Rose, in on the stop for the Showboats.
You know, these quarterbacks, Tim, are having remarkable nights, and the offenses are, considering the intensity with which the defenses are playing. These aren't just defenses that are out there to be pushed around. They're playing very hard.
Second down, 7 yards to go with 7:35 to play in the third quarter. The Showboats have already come up with a touchdown from Harry Sidney to start things here in the third quarter. Toler's got it, and it's another first down for the Stallions. Mosi Cade caught in single coverage with him, making the stop at the 41-yard line.
They are blitzing, as we said, and we get a big blitz on the backside, and that play action fake to Coles. It's a slant-in pattern to Toller. Cade was playing off him a little bit. Barney Bussey, strong safety, is also blitzing now on the front side. Memphis is playing a very daring style of defense. You could get hurt badly doing this.
The ball's now at the 42. That's where they marked it. First and 10. Stout's going up top again, and there is Smith again. Smith falling down in the end zone. Pass is incomplete. There have been some inadvertent contact in the end zone, but no reason for a flag. Second and 10.
Memphis doing some good guessing. They were expecting to get man-to-man, but they're playing a deep zone now. Coleman has them on the outside. You'll see the free safety come into the picture. It's a strong Barney Bussey. Barney Bussey is strong safety, rotating back to help out against Smith. And there is some contact there. In fact, that might have been something that would have been called, but a lot of people going for the ball.
Incidental is what they call it if you're a defensive coach, right?
You don't call it incidental if you're the guy that gets run into, however.
Second and 10. Cribbs again. Good blocking for him. He's to the 35. He's getting 5 and 6 yards at a chunk now. Bussey was there to trip him up.
Bussey again came a long way to put on a tough lick, and Joe Cribbs felt that when he's still on the turf.
Corker actually was involved in that play.
Here we see John Corker in red going down with the blocking fake, allowing Cribbs to get to the outside. Now Corker pursuing back out. Bussey gets the first shot, and Corker slams him to the ground afterward.
3rd down and 3. Birmingham has come up with some good 3rd down plays tonight. They're at the 40-yard line, or checked at the 35 of Memphis. Toler's got it, and it's another 1st down. Toler has become Birmingham's Moser so far in this game.
Toler has stepped in and done a remarkable job. Again, it's a fake of the trap. It's 3rd and 3. They want you to think run. He's looking back really for Earl, but Earl is covered by Bussey, and he throws it out there without a full arm action to Toler. Cade closes quickly, but his cushion was a little bit too much.
The Showboats have utilized Moser in much the same fashion as Birmingham has used Toler.
Very much so.
5:20 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 24-17 Memphis. 1st and 10. No room that time. Calvin Clark.
That was a big hit by Clark on the trap play, which is the trademark play for this club.
6'4", 252 pounds is Clark in his 4th year as a pro out of Purdue.
Pepper there a moment ago in his windy night hairdo.
Yeah. It's going from animated to docile, right? Rogers to Stoudt. 2nd down and 9. The ball just on the 30-yard line of Memphis. Smith has it. Mostly Cade brings him down. Gain of about 4. They'll mark it at the 26, where it will be 3rd down and 4 yards coming up.
One of these times soon now, Cade is starting to close faster and faster. You might look for Toler on an out. Stoudt pump as if to throw to him. Try to get Cade come up to make the stop, and then turn Toler upfield and go for broke. Out now.
Both teams have cashed in on their opportunities when they've had them. Birmingham mounting really its first long drive of the game, perhaps. 3rd and 5. Smith. Coleman with excellent coverage that time.
Coleman had excellent position. Stoudt really wanted to put the ball further to the outside. When a man has coverage like that, you expect to throw it outside toward the sideline. The receiver ought to fade, but he was falling away when he did it. And he jumps up and tries to get a little of that bowler's English on it, but it didn't help.
Put a little lean on that one.
That's right.
Danny Miller will try the field goal now. From 40 to 49, he's pretty good. This one will be from 44. Wide to the right side.
There's a crosswind, Tim. It was true off his foot, but blew to the left of the upright.
With 3:38 to play in the 3rd quarter, Pepper ball on top by a touchdown.
Both men throwing just 4 incompletions each. Both 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception Kelley threw was insignificant. There's 7 seconds left in the half, and he's just throwing a desperation pass. They have been very sharp tonight, and one of Stout's turnovers, in fact, came on a completion.
Mike Kelley inserted just a week ago for Walter Lewis, even though Lewis had all those great numbers. So far, it's paid off big for Pepper Rogers and staff. 1st and 10 from the 21. That's Porter. Ricky Porter from Slippery Rock, and he is a slippery one. Beyond the 40 to the 41 for the 1st down. Sutton made the stop.
He fakes to Porter, has downfield men he can throw to. They're covered. Everybody's dropped deep. You see Bill Rowe, the linebacker, way deep. They throw it in front of Porter. Nicky Sutton finally does make the stop on him.
1st and 10 with the ball now at the 41-yard line. Memphis leading by a touchdown. Porter again. Up to the 47. Chuck Clanton made the hit. There's Cribbs along the sidelines. He left limping earlier after that last series for Birmingham.
Here's Ricky Porter at tailback. Just a basic toss, but it's going to go off tackle. They want you to think it's a sweep. Pull everybody wide. There's Bill Rowe again, 52, making the initial hit on the tackle. Rowe is their leading tackler. Spencer is number 2. Herbie Spencer.
Second down and 5. Memphis from their own 47. Harry Sidney up to midfield. Sidney of the 4 backs, perhaps the guy that can string them most quickly. Bill Rowe made the stop. We certainly saw that in evidence in the last Memphis possession.
All of a sudden, a little bit of a change up in tempo by Memphis. 2 plays in a row, real quick snaps, basic running plays, try and strike quickly. They're mixing their game very well.
Third down and 2. Bill Rowe's view there. Kelley. Now that one was nearly picked off by Dumars off the tip drill. Had he come up with it, it would have been 6 for Birmingham. As it is, it's 4th down, and it'll be a punt formation for the Memphis Showboats. Bob Grupp will come on. Just his second punt of the night coming up. Remember, though, he hit it big, but it was a line driver.
That's right. I was just going to say that the 43 looks impressive, but it was too low a punt, and it came back almost as fast as it went out there.
And why? Because McFadden is back there, and he leads the league in this department. He called a fair catch there. Tell you, a little more body lean that time, and Memphis would have had Birmingham down on the 1-yard line. It did get into the end zone.
It touched the line. It's what the official rules, and if it touches the line is in the end zone.
We have a timeout. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Memphis leads Birmingham 24-17. Birmingham's possession at their own 20. Gann is in the game for Cribbs. Stoudt looking. Got away from Bussey. Nearly found his man, Joel Cole.
Well, I don't know if that was his man at the outset. There's a lot of scrambling around. All went for naught.
Stoudt gets around back there, though. People just do not give him the kind of credit in terms of eluding would-be tacklers in his backfield.
They certainly don't, particularly for a man who's 9 years in professional football. A 6'4" quarterback who does not have a low center of gravity, which would help him elude. He gets away very well.
Out of Youngstown State, many believe the premier quarterback in this league. There have been a few arguments, of course. Stoudt coming this way to Earl. Vestalou with a nice stop. Well, you really see the old Miami Dolphins coming out. The veterans of these many wars can come through, and Vestalou that time showed you why they picked him up a couple of weeks ago to shore up their defensive backfield.
This is a standard trick play. You fake a sweep, the tight end comes all the way from the right side across the formation to the left. Vestalou and Steve Hammond both read it, however, and reacted to it. Stoudt stumbled a bit, however, when he made the initial fake to the running back, and that threw the rhythm of the play off.
3rd and 4, the ball at the 26. Incomplete for Smith. Stoudt through 3 defenders that time.
Jim Smith here right in the middle of the field was grabbed really by Mossy Cade. Now coming across the middle, the ball is thrown behind him. Stoudt delivers and gets a little emotional about it. You ought to be a little careful to guard those legs.
You don't want to leave your feet too often. Bob Parsons will punt on 4th and 4. Pretty good hang time for Parsons. And they'll mark it up up around the 48-yard line. Check that to 38. When Memphis comes back, they'll have it, and they still own a touchdown lead. Couple of seconds left in the third quarter. 24-17. Memphis leading Birmingham. Eastern Division race of the USFL is getting tighter. That's Derek Crawford. First down to midfield. Herbie Spencer made the stop.
They are giving Crawford a big cushion. There's a fake of an inside grab. Watch Crawford start the drive downfield with a step or two. Then he comes back, gets Tyrone McGriff and Louis Sharp out in front of him to get the defenders as they react up. It was his quickness. It's a good game.
Below the Mason-Dixon line, two Southern rivals doing battle, and the Showboats leading by 7. We understand his right thigh has been iced down, and it doesn't appear as if he'll make it back into the game. That's crucial as we head down towards the last 15 minutes of play. Rao, the tight end, gathers in the Kelley aerial at the 42 of Birmingham. Herbie Spencer in on the stop for the Stallions. Mickey Sutton also there, and it's Sutton that's feeling the pinch of the hit.
On many occasions, Tim, Memphis is sending their two wide receivers deep, their tight end down the middle, and the backs cross short, and they keep hitting those backs short in front of the linebackers because the defense is going deep. There's Sutton. Gets a hard stick there on Rao, but apparently shakes himself up. Sutton, Rao too, is shaken up on the play. Sutton is only 5'9", 173.
He may have pinched a nerve there in his neck or damaged his shoulder. 24-17 the count. Tim Spencer's bottled up. Literally everyone in the forward wall of Birmingham and on the stop.
I don't think he got the first down. Oh, he's a yard short.
Yep, it's going to be third down and a yard. The ball at the 41 of Birmingham. This is a drive that could loom largely for that guy and his staff, up by a touchdown and in control with good field position to start things in the fourth quarter.
Good field position. This type of situation where I would think, these are only guesses, that he's going to run the ball rather than try to play action.
Slot right, Moser in the slot. Spencer follows up the gap, and it's hard to tell. Clanton, Spencer, Sales, among others.
They've gone over that left side, and here they go again in short yardage, and they're really not getting it. They get pretty good takeoff there by Sharp and McGriff, but there's still not a lot of running room. Herbie Spencer coming around the outside to make the stop, and here's a very crucial call if he didn't make that first down.
By the way, the bandage coming off of Joe Cribbs, we understand, that right thigh, so we may be seeing him again after all.
If they don't make the first down here with a 7-point lead, will they go for it on the 40-yard line? I think it's close enough that they probably will.
Pepper Rogers will have to toe the line.
About an inch to go. About an inch.
He's about a toe away.
Well, I think he's going to go for it.
They're going to talk about it, though.
They're going to talk for an hour and a half and run a quarterback sneak here. The call here is quarterback sneak when you got an inch to go.
Kelley with that proverbial whodunit look on his face.
Yeah.
Wally Dawson, the pass is won with good team defense, and they will be tested right here. 13 and a half minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Memphis leading by a touchdown.
The biggest thing you fear in this situation is ball exchange in the state.
First down.
Here we get a look at the right side now. The Showboat line firing a wedge block. You see them all blocking down. They're not blocking men. They're blocking areas, trying to create some type of swath so that Parker can get yardage. Here we see the two backs taking off. straight ahead. The other running back in the game at the time could not have gotten ahead of Parker with his straight course through the hole.
First down and 10, the ball at the 39 of Birmingham. Kelley. Moser to the 11. Clanton made the stop.
One of the few times they've gone deep into the middle, deep turn-in pattern. So the man who's been his favorite receiver tonight, Kelley, dropping back. It's a 7-step drop, which means it's going to be a deep route. Looks to the outside. There's an open lane. There's look to the outside. Brought defenders out there. And Moser very sure-handed. Adding again to that large average per catch.
First and 10, the ball marked at the 12-yard line. That's Porter. Stopped by Pageant. Ron Pageant out of Louisiana Tech. 6'2", 265 pounds. You really can't say enough about Porter and Parker as backup running backs for Memphis. They've carried the load tonight for Pepper Rogers' club.
This is a little bit like the old backfields that the Minnesota Vikings used to have. They had to start two, but 4 of them played just about equal amount during the game. That's what's happening tonight so far as the role being played by Porter and Parker.
Second and 6, the ball at the 7. Memphis can get a first down without the benefit of a touchdown. Porter has it to the 5. Smith along with Rowe and on the stop for Birmingham.
We're saving the ground again, coming over that left side where they seem to be having a little more trouble running tonight. There's a good hard stick in there by one of the linebackers whose number we can't identify from this angle.
Taft Sales is the guy.
Taft Sales out of the University of Missouri, not a starting linebacker. He started a few games a year ago in a backup role now, but he came up with a big hit.
10 and a half minutes to play in the game. 24-17 Memphis. 3rd and 3. Sidney, first down.
Sidney picked his feet up there to elude a tackle, which would have brought him up short of the first down. Here he is to look downfield for Moser. Moser's covered. So he deals the ball off to Sidney. He pulls that left foot free. Maintains his balance. Another angle, same thing. Finally, a tackle being made by linebackers coming from the inside. I'm very impressed by the Birmingham linebackers, but they've been fighting a very bitter retreat here as Memphis, after picking up that 4th down play out at the 40 and then hitting a big pass to Moser, have moved inside the 2-yard line.
Sidney just gutted that one out, eluding Woodbury. First and goal at the 2. Touchdown! Sidney made it look easy.
Stayed working on that left side. Here they come again. A nice lead block by Ricky Porter, and they're in easily. David Huffman, number 56, normally a tackle, was playing tight end on the left side there, which they do in short yards and goal line situations. In fact, earlier this year he caught a touchdown from that spot.
Duncan to tackle on the point. They love it in Memphis. Their Showboats trying to go 6-5 and vault right into the thick of the Eastern Conference race.
Again, another look at the touchdown. Low blocks all the way. Ricky Porter sort of cleaning up whoever might come from the inside. Goes into the end zone.
31-17 our score. We'll return to the Liberty Bowl in just a moment. Birmingham leading it 3-0 coming in, and really outscoring the Showboats by plenty. Now suddenly things have changed. Harry Sidney and company, 2 touchdowns in this half, and it's a 31-17 Showboat lead. Ball out Caruth. Sort of a blue-collar worker on special teams and as a running back, stopped by Darrell Goodlow. They'll mark it at the 28 where it will be 1st and 10, and Joe Cribbs is back. Sore thigh and all. When you're down by a couple of touchdowns, you have to play.
You have to play, and he's a tough young man. Birmingham now, there's no Birmingham game plan. They certainly have a chance. Here's Cribbs. They certainly have a chance to still pull it out, but they've got to deviate from the style that has them win 7 games so far this year.
Stoudt will fumble. Picked up by Reggie White. Touchdown, Memphis. Flags are down. Oh, it's just debris.
It was the beanbag there, Jim, which they throw at the spot of a turnover ball possession change. Here we see Stoudt dropping back. A lot of rush coming in here from the backside. Calvin Clark was had a heck of a game. Knocks him free from the ball. Reggie picks it up with a whole group of blockers. Jim Smith tries to tackle him on the 6-yard line, but Reggie carries him in, and they're up now by 20 points.
Carlton Rose had one of those takeaways when they last met in Birmingham, but they came up 15 points shy that time. Right now they're up by 20. 37-17. What a break.
Well, they've scored 3 times in the second half, 1 by a turnover and 1 set up by a turnover. So 2 of the touchdowns coming by virtue of turnovers, something that Birmingham could not afford to do.
We have a red flag. Ollie Dosh complaining. He's going to challenge it. So we did have a flag thrown. Just wasn't yellow, it was red.
You're right, you're right. Boy, are you, and I told you so. All right, there's previous challenges, 31-6.
And Birmingham has gotten 1 reversal this year. Memphis has come up with nada, senor. Pass at the arm has still been going up.
The touchdown.
Even though his hand moved forward, I think it had stopped. He was now trying to possess the ball, to run with it rather than as a passing action. Let's take a look, though. There he is, one more time. Now he starts to come forward to pass. Now he's trying to put, no longer a passing action. He had stopped it, and then the ball was knocked from his hand.
Calvin Clark knocked it loose. Reggie White got 6th. What had been a tight ball game is now turning into a possible blowout. The Memphis Showboats have unlocked some of Marv Levy's keys to victory, and they're up by 21. Memphis has really dominated this game since the beginning of the second half, Marv.
They have. They certainly have. Their defense has been awfully big, of course, hitting hard. They've been playing very aggressively.
McFadden and Caruth are awaiting the Duncan kickoff. Caruth gathers it in. He's up to the 29-yard line. Coakley, among others, in on the pile for the Showboats, and now Birmingham, trailing by 21, must strike and strike quickly. And you look at those numbers and you get the idea perhaps they have that chance.
Well, they have tools. They have the players that can do well. Cliff Stoudt, Jim Smith, Joe Cribbs. Unfortunately for them, Joey Jones out of the lineup tonight, and Daryl Mason, a fine tight end. But it gets more difficult, of course, because everybody knows what they have to do now. They might sprinkle in a draw or two now and then, but it's a passing game from here on.
Cribbs does remain in the game. The single setback here. In traffic, McFadden comes up with it. Hammond there to make the stop.
Sam Clancy, number 90 in red, right at the middle of your screen there, putting on some heat, going against Buddy Adelette. And Adelette thinks Stoudt should let it go. He protected pretty well, but Clancy gets a good hard stick on Stoudt. And this is a time now when the quarterback takes some real licks because everybody's going to be close to him even when he does get the ball off.
4 down lineman now for Memphis. John Banaszak has come in. That's Joel Cole, stopped by Corker off the reception up to about the 38.
As you mentioned, Tim, they have 4 linemen to get more pressure. Now, Reggie White is playing over the guard now, number 92 in red, rushing against Pat Phoenix, 71. He's close. As the ball is released, he's legal, but this is bruise time for the quarterback.
There are those that would debate the maneuver putting Reggie White at nose tackle as opposed to defensive end with his pass rushing ability. Stoudt going for all of it, and it's way overthrown. McFadden, the intended receiver.
McFadden well covered by John Besselou and another secondary defender. 1st and 10 in this situation is the time to go that deep, and they are guessing that Memphis will do some blitzing on that 1st and 10, and it's not a bad calculated guess, even though in that instance it didn't pan out.
Pepper Rogers says his brand of football is an attitude. Pepper ball is nothing more than an attitude, positive thinking. He's got this ball club playing positively tonight. Cribbs has come out of the game now. Seth Baxter split. Earl Gant is checked in for Cribbs. Stoudt eludes pressure and finds McFadden for the 1st down at the Memphis 45. Leonard Coleman there to make the stop.
They're going now with a lot of wide receivers, Birmingham. Secondary was up close like they were going to blitz. Then they drop off, covering zone. Thad McFadden, rookie. He's such a fine pass receiver now in the game, makes that catch.
We're back to live action. That's Earl Gant. Inside the 40 to the 39. Sam Clancy coming over from his defensive end spot to make the stop. The last 4 possessions for Birmingham have been tough. Fumble, miss a field goal, punt, and fumble again.
All of them starting from deep in their own territory, inside their own 30-yard line. It's tough to go the long way, particularly when you're behind by a little bit. Memphis went ahead early in the quarter.
Stallions going without the benefit of a huddle on 2nd and 6. Cribbs found the hole and has the 1st down, it appears, at the 31. Banaszak and Clancy both in to make the stop for the Showboats.
Clancy is playing a fine game tonight. He hadn't lived up to what they had hoped when he came over from the Maulers. He'd been somewhat injured with a mild hamstring pull, but it's very restrictive. He's having fun tonight, playing better than I've seen him play all season.
38 to 17, the Showboats leading. We were tied at 17 at halftime. 1st and 10, Stoudt to the air again. Toller covered nicely by Coleman. Coleman and Cade, 2 first-round NFL picks by San Diego and Indianapolis. With the help of Besselou and company, they're a better unit.
Towards the end of the play, Stoudt delivering with 2 or 3 of the Showboats around him, making him hurry his throw. Leonard Coleman closing fast on Kenny Toller. But Stoudt is not being able anymore, Tim, to really set up in a cup, read the coverage, and step up. He's scrambling about and delivering.
6 minutes and 13 seconds are left. Dosh at Northern Michigan to the left, and Pepper Rogers, all those great years at Georgia Tech, UCLA. Now in the United States Football League, and they're still earning their keep. Rogers made some moves that cost this franchise a lot of money to win and win soon and make the playoffs, obtaining Besselou's and Louis Sharp's. So far, he has toed the line and has done the tightrope act nicely here in Memphis. 2nd down and 10 with 6:13 to play in the game. The Showboats leading 38 to 17. That's Coles to the 24-yard line. Steve Hammond making the stop. Calling Steve Hammond's name a heck of a lot tonight.
Actually, Coles was not the expected receiver. They're going hurry-up offense, even though there's 6 minutes left. They've been going that way. They have to. 3 touchdowns down. Poles again lining up to pick up a blitz.
That comes from Corker. Corker still gets through, not in time, and the pass incomplete. Clancy, a sign of victory.
He's 6 feet 7 inches tall. He can get his hands up and do a lot of deflecting. Here's Stoudt again, having to throw off balance with some heat coming. Hand goes up from the celebration we saw afterward. Probably Sam Clancy got his hand in the way.
Cribbs is still out of the game. It is, I beg your pardon, he's back in. Cribbs is back in, and he's got it. Nailed at the 18-yard line. Bussey along with Brett Williams on the stop. Williams in for Reggie White for the moment.
This is a good drive. They are not playing prevent defense. People might think that because they're moving down the field this way, but it's a good drive under a lot of pressure.
Smith and McFadden are the wide receivers. McFadden at the top of your screen on 1st and 10. And he goes to Toller. Touchdown. Stoudt crossed up Memphis defensively that time.
They had 3 wide receivers in the game. McFadden, Smith, and Toller. Again, you see Corker blitzing, you see Hammond blitzing, 53 and 54. So it's all-man coverage. Barney Bussey, some way or other in those crossing patterns, loses his coverage on Toller, and he high steps it in. And they should be, if they make the point, within 14 again. Another look. It's a crossing pattern with your run when you're anticipating man-to-man. It works. But you better pick up a lot of those blitzes to make it work.
Out of the hold of Bob Land, the kick by Miller is good. We said it could happen. With 5 minutes and 15 seconds left, there's still that possibility.
Well, there's enough time. 14 points down, a little more than 5 minutes to go, and you've just scored, and you've got good weapons. Certainly there's time. Now, this is where a running game is real important, too. If Memphis can eat some time off with their running game, it becomes very important. I know Bill Walsh from San Francisco 49ers, while he doesn't feature the running game first, feels it's so important late in the game when you have to eat time off the clock, and the run is the likely play that you still be able to make it work.
Ollie Dodge has to feel a little bit better right now about his team's chances with 5:15 to play. One of the better drives of the night. 11 plays, 72 yards, 4 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock. Perhaps more time than you'd like if you're a Stallions fan, but they got the job done. Toller out of Ole Miss in for Joey Jones tonight, coming up with the touchdown, 18 yards from Stoudt.
They are playing now onside kick defense. 9 men, 10 men within 10 yards of the restraining line.
Henry Williams is back deep, but everyone else is up front.
They have 1 man deep, and the tough part about this is now they're maybe they were going to onside kick. Now they're going to re-huddle and talk it over. Figure, well, we'll kick deep and take our chances playing defense. They've got a good defensive team.
It's like a basketball coach taking timeout, wondering what defensive deployment he'll look at. He sees the zone, calls another timeout, and says, okay, let's set this up now.
Well, I'm sure there's a similarity to what you just said.
Well, it was an in-betweener, right? Williams gets it at the 22 and fumbles it. He did come up with it, though. They'll mark it at the 23-yard line.
It's an in-betweener, but I don't understand why. If you're an onside kick, if you want to pin him deeper, kick it deeper. That one I don't understand at all, unless they felt that they could maybe recover that as a style of onside kick.
They have come up with 1 fumble recovery on a kickoff tonight. Williams coughed one up and led to a touchdown.
Number 23 on the kicking team, line, first down.
Well, you got the same bad result that you sometimes get when going for an onside kick. The other team got the ball.
Here's your offside. 2nd man in from the bottom of your screen. Offside, across the line when the ball was kicked.
Mike Kelley, 19 of 26, 195 yards, couple of touchdowns, one interception. He and Stoudt have been outstanding tonight here at the Liberty Bowl. 38-24. Memphis leading with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. Porter gets it. Ken Kelley made the stop. Mike Kelley, who had shoulder problems, arm problems coming out of college, cost him some when coming out in the draft. Many felt he'd be a #1 round pick, and that wasn't the case. Stymied his career early, but Pepper Rogers had confidence in him. There were those that were quite critical when Walter Lewis was replaced. But even Lewis is happy with what he's seen so far, and we have too much time here. You know, Lewis, with the numbers he's had, and you look at Kelley now, but you'd think Lewis would be a little upset with what's transpired. He's posted some great numbers for that guy, and yet is on the bench tonight.
Well, he's not the type of person to be upset. His team is winning. I made the comment last week, despite the fact he's thrown 15 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Pepper gave his reasons that he felt the team needed a change of tempo. He's got a lot of career ahead of him, Walter Lewis. He certainly hasn't reflected any dissatisfaction.
He aided the team on the opening play. Set up the first scoring drive of the game. 2nd and 14. That's Porter again. Coming out of the backfield to pick up a healthy chunk of yardage. Stopped at the 29-yard line. Bill Rowe made the stop in his 6th year out of Colorado.
Rowe continuing to make a lot of tackles for this club. But here's a very crucial play. If they can pick up the first down, they can probably take it down at least to the 2-minute warning before having to punt it away, sitting on a 2-touchdown lead.
Birmingham has 2 timeouts remaining. Memphis with their full complement of 3 here in the second half. Third down and 4. That's Sidney. First down, Showboats.
What Kelley has done is something very difficult to get quarterbacks to do. Throw to your short man. Harry Sidney, 24, looks for a blitz. None's coming. He hooks up in a little crease between the 2 linebackers, Taft Sales and Bill Rowe. Catches it. It's not going to look big, 4 or 5-yard completion, but it's very big. Maybe big enough to say that the game has been put away unless something very unlikely were to happen.
Mike Kelley. Big night for him. On 1st and 10, Sidney gets the call and has 5 more. Queuing up the yardage. Rowe again, along with Herbie Spencer, to provide the coverage, and Raleigh Dosh-Swanson gets the timeout.
Raleigh wasn't going to let full 30 seconds run off the clock down to the 2-minute warning, but they only have 1 left.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. Ball at the 40. 38-24. Memphis leading. Sidney breaks free again, and he's nearly into first down territory. Dave Purifoy made the stop for Birmingham. No measure.
Ken Smith firing out there on Bill Rowe, getting into him, then looking behind, but he gets good movement on him. Very close, if not a first down, very close to it.
Ken Smith out of Miami of Ohio in his 3rd year. They are just a stone's throw away. They've been that close 3 times tonight.
Look at that one. 10 times last time they played each other. Tonight, no sacks. Why? Better players up there, the addition of Louis Sharp and Bollinger, but a game plan which allowed them to throw short, and Mike Kelley, a quarterback who can read and throw short against the blitz. Now, Look at Walter Lewis. He's in that game. And there's no animosity or hurt feelings there. He's part of this football team, and he shows it. There's nothing phony about it.
Third down, and again, as we mentioned, less than a yard to go. I believe we may have had another timeout call. That's Parker. Rowe made the stop. It appears he has the first down. Anthony Parker out of Memphis State gets the first down for the Showboats.
Again, over the left side in the short yardage goal line.
38-24 Memphis. 2 minutes left. The Birmingham Stallions out of all their timeouts. Just a question of time now. This will be a sweet win for Memphis. Their first ever against Birmingham. They call this locally, as in all the newspapers, Revenge Bowl 2. Both coaches agreed that winning this game was especially important because the two clubs really don't have a great liking for one another. So Dosh has great respect for Rogers and Pepper of him.
Well, they do. They stood together and talked before the game. It must have been 20 minutes while their teams were warming up.
We'll have an opportunity to talk with some of the stars of this game by game's end.
You know, I don't think they're going to be able to use all 2 minutes by just sitting on the ball the way they are. They've got to get the next, well, they could almost use it. They got to get the next snap off all with about 40 seconds to play.
Here are the updated Eastern Conference standings off this game now. Birmingham will drop to 7-4. Memphis at 6-5. Tampa Bay and Jersey still at 7-3, but you can't rule out Jacksonville yet. Lindy and Fonte's team also with just 5 losses.
They're coming on very well. Now, it's going to be fourth down coming up. Oh, they'll just be about 30 seconds after. 37 now. Depends when they spot the ball. Oh, they can take it right down to the wire. They can just stay in the huddle. Let it run out.
Raleigh Dosh won when he had to win, when the franchise was on the line. Pepper Rogers had been receiving much criticism, made some moves some people didn't like or agree with. Since that time, his club has come through. It's all over. The Memphis Showboats have beaten Birmingham 38-24 and will return to a happy Liberty Bowl in just a moment.